cents from account number 99019, the highway interfund transfer to account number 5031, the highway fund. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Councilman Meyer, I'm not used to this.
Yes.
Is
I'll
this
do it
your
next
idea,
week.
or was it?
We'll let it slide tonight. I abstain.
Yeah, I just like it. Councilman Myers?
Yes.
Councilman Jazinski?
Yes.
Councilman Esposito?
Yes.
Councilman Edwards?
Yes.
Supervisor Joyce?
Yes.
I'm done.
I'll do it next week. And finally, town board meeting video approval for the organizational meeting on 1/5/2012.
I think we have to back up to highway claim. We just did the transfer, and then
Oh, sorry.
we have to do the transfer and then pay the claim.
Highway claim for the 2011 budget. Do I have a motion for the town board to approve claim number 8 in the amount of $28,118.18 for the Schenectady County Highway snow plowing of town roads? Do I have a motion?
What if we don't plow any?
Is it from last year, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's for last year. It's for old snow.
Okay. So moved.
We need him to bring it back.
Yeah. No, it can stay there. So moved.
I'll second.
Councilman Myers?
Yes.
Councilman Jazinski?
Yes.
Councilman Esposito?
Yes.
Councilman Edwards?
Yes.
Supervisor Joyce?
Yes. Okay.
I'm good.
All right. And do I have a motion for the town board meeting video approval for the organizational meeting on 1/5/2012? Do I have a motion for the town board to approve the video audio tape recording of the 1/5/12 town board organizational meeting upon viewing by the town clerk?
Do you want to add tonight's meeting in there too? Doesn't matter, but that's what the board was doing before.
I would say let's just play it the way it is and
That's fine.
we'll add it in next week. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Councilman Myers?
Yes.
Councilman Jazinski?
I abstain.
Councilman Esposito?
Yes.
Councilman Edwards?
Yes.
Supervisor Joyce?
Yes.
Can I just, before you go to public comment, I have questions for you on the organizational meeting that I think needs to be clarified. Not all the way through this, but resolution 1203, if you read under town board meeting, it's worded the second Tuesday of each month and the fourth Tuesday of each month with the exception of the months of June, July, and August. So if you read the wording, it sounds as though, and I know this was not anyone's intention, but that there will be no town board meetings in June, July, and August.
No, that
And I think the
I'm
intent,
okay with that.
It'll be wild.
I think the intent was that,
Could we put that in the,
Yes.
you put anything in there. So, I will change the wording to show that you're going to have the second Tuesday of the month, but not the fourth.
Correct.
So does anyone, whoever made that resolution, Esposito and Myers, do you have an issue with changing it to clarify
I have no
what the
problem.
meeting was? Okay. Also, under resolution 1203, and there was some bantering about, but I just want to make sure this is correct. Organizational meetings for 2012 will be held on 2/14/2012, which is a Tuesday,
Correct.
and 6/12/2012, which is also a Tuesday.
Correct.
Okay, that's good.
Well, just for clarification, so we can actually have an organizational meeting before the town board meeting?
can have it anytime you want.
Yeah, it says prior to the town board meeting.
Okay, oh, perfect, yeah.
But keep in mind that because it's here, it doesn't have to be public, it probably should be public noticed if they meet at like 6 o'clock.
It would constitute a special meeting.
Yeah,
And so it needs
so
to
if
be
you
noticed
keep
the
in
same way as a
mind
special
that if
meeting.
that's what you're gonna do, we're gonna have to public notice that you're gonna meet at 6, that's all.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Under Resolution 1205, under Deputy Town Clerk, you say resolve that the appointed Deputy Town Clerk's position be appointed at an hourly rate, blah, 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 not to exceed $4,185.28, and I don't understand that. What you're saying is, because there's 2 clerks, each of them will not to exceed 232 hours?
No, the clerk position,
The one clerk position,
right.
okay. So the budgeted amount for that clerk is 16,000.
Mhm.
So every other position that you worked on, you cut in half because you appointed people through June 30th, which is obviously 6 months. But in this position, you cut it in quarters. You didn't cut it in half.
So,
And the most critical time for the town clerk, which is also tax collection, is the beginning of the year and the end of the year, not in the middle. So in order to do tax collection for, what I say, $1.8 million, and to limit the help that I have in there, I don't know how, I don't understand why you would do that.
well, so, and again, the thought was that, to define the roles, to understand the roles, and then, you know, and that's really why I set the, February meeting. If there was adjustments that needed to be made, we can make the adjustments.
But every other department you cut in half, and this one you cut in quarters. Can you explain why that was?
So, I funded, or we funded, the board funded, the position of the deputy town clerk,
Mm-hmm.
total. So I don't know, there was 2 people in there.
No, actually, there's 2 town clerks. One of them is a regular town clerk that has, or I'm sorry, deputy town clerk, that has specific jobs. The second town clerk is one that comes in only when necessary, if there's special projects, or if we have to go to a meeting. So the second town clerk is not one that actively participates. So I don't know why this is the only position. Every other position you took the budget and obviously cut it in half with regard to the pay. This is the only exception. I don't understand why.
So, well, and I went back through some timesheets again, so that's was my base, and again, I couldn't get in the building to even look at things, so it was an attempt to define, you know, how much that position requires, which is why I'm gonna start asking, saying, you know, I need to understand what everybody does every single day, you know, ask for timesheets weekly, not monthly.
No, and I understand, that's fine. So why was this the only position you did that to?
Well, I didn't realize it was 2 positions, so I just assumed it was 1. I don't know, so that's all I was targeting. It wasn't, it's not a target, it was just, the assumption I was using was just 1 person. And those hours are not completely out of alignment with the hours that were put in for timesheets last year.
So you took
And this year.
timesheets for all the departments, and they all worked out for half pay, except the deputy that works in my office, is that correct?
A lot of them are salary, aren't they?
No, I'm talking about the hourly.
You said I cut everybody's salary in half, their salary.
Yeah, and it's the hourly also. Deputy court clerk, or assistant court clerk. The water clerk. You know, those are not salary, those are hourly. So what you did is took for those positions the budgeted amount and took half and plugged that in.
I can, again, I'm open for discussion.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
You know. It's a very busy office.
Mhm.
It's a town clerk and a tax collector,
Yeah.
which it's not uncommon in a small town to have them combined, but it's not, it might be a 50-50 thing, you know, some towns have it separate. But it's more cost effective, obviously, to have it in one office.
Agreed.
So to expect, you know, a department to do all that has to be done for a town clerk and the tax collection, and then for you to, I would say arbitrarily,
It wasn't
cut the whole
arbitrary.
thing
It was
in
not
quarter.
arbitrary. It wasn't in quarter, I think we're making an
It
assumption.
was in quarter, that is actually a quarter of the budgeted amount for that position.
Mhm. So again, I'm absolutely, as I said last week, I'm absolutely willing to open and discuss it. Show me some metrics, show me some
Well,
facts.
metrics is a business measurement.
Well-
We can't do by metrics, it's government. What is it you want?
So how many transactions are we doing, a week?
And what
Tax
transaction?
collections. How many hunting licenses are we processing? How many fishing licenses are we processing?
Well,
That's-
you can get that all from the financial report that's given at the end of every month.
Maybe you can do it across the board, not just single out items, specific position.
I don't think I did see last single position. I thought again, I am absolutely willing to work with everybody and say, let's look at it, let's talk about it. Again, I'm looking to define and understand all the positions. Merge tasks, create new positions. I'm
Well,
flexible.
we're about as merged as we can be. We can't create anything new. I mean,
Well,
but that's irrelevant,
yeah. Well, I don't think it is, because
Most of
actually I
what
think there are
goes on-
spots where we can actually create a position, but
Mostly, excuse me? I didn't hear what you said.
I said, actually, from what I've seen, what little time I've had, I think there is efficiency that can be gained, which would mean perhaps either creating a new title or adding a task to somebody's, job profile.
Anyway, most of what the town clerk does and the tax collector does is determined not by you or the board, it's determined by the state of New York.
Great, excellent, then we should be able to define it to the T.
And we can if you look at the financials, but did you not look at that?
Again, I had some very limited time here, I couldn't get in, there was no transition, right, so it was just cut a flash cut. And that's
Could ask.
exactly, well, I tried to. And that's exactly why I set the February meeting, and I thought I was, and if I wasn't, I apologize, but I thought I was pretty, clear last week saying, if there's discussions, come talk to me, I am absolutely willing to look at every position and then readjust as we think necessary. Obviously, if you need more help, then we'll talk about it and we'll adjust it for the February 14th meeting, absolutely. But, I gotta think that, I understand we don't make widgets here. That's absolutely a fact, and I'm not trying to imply that we are. But there's times when, efficiencies can be gained, absolutely. And I think not to say we can become more efficient in our jobs is anyway, I think that we can, it can be done, I really do. I mean, business does it every day, and I know this is not a business, but, business processes and procedures and disciplines can be applied. I just don't see, again, maybe I am wrong, but I'm gonna take the time to analyze it, and try to understand it, and, we'll see what comes out. I mean, it's fair to us, it's fair to the citizens. I think the 2% tax cap is gonna start affecting us. Every time you look at the paper, the pressure's coming down from the federal government, from Wall Street, to the states, to the counties, it's gonna continue to push down. So, we need to, at least I'm gonna try to see if we can gain some efficiencies. So I'm absolutely willing to sit with you and go through it. And I'm gonna ask all the department heads, including the boards, the chair boards, which is why I asked the stipends to be a per meeting, is to, even the planning boards, I'm asking them to run it as a department. You know, it was Ben Franklin said, you watch your pennies, the dollar will take care of himself. So, you know, again, Carol, I am absolutely willing to sit with you and work with you. So,
So we'll just leave it noted that that was the only department that was done to.
well, I don't think it's actually accurate, but
Well, as far as I've gotten, and it's tedious going through this, but,
it is tedious putting it together.
pardon?
It was a little bit tedious putting it together, so I will work with you, and I will
So,
work with every department and define it.
just, if I may make a comment
Go ahead.
before you go on, I just, for the record, I've been here for the last 24 months, working with the employees here in the town, as well as all the department heads. And I think that there has been an active, perpetual, and ongoing effort from all of the good, hardworking folks here at the town to constantly seek out efficiencies and find ways to save our town money through cross-training, job sharing, different ideas. So I just kind of want to put that out there. I get the impression sometimes that we're inferring that some of the things that you're talking about aren't and have not been going on. I have to tell you, in my observations and my interactions over the past 24 months here as a town board member, and as my past 7.5 years prior to that being on one of the boards here in the town and interacting with several of the folks here, I can tell you that we have very competent, capable, and actively engaged employees here in the town who do a phenomenal job for the residents of providing the services that we have here in this town. I do not think that that means that we have to stop the process improvement that we continuously are doing, and most of that credit goes to the employees themselves, as well as the department heads, board chairs. By no means do I think that needs to stop, and I think it's also good to have fresh ideas. New people come in, bring their experiences, but I just kind of want to clarify that. I hope by no means that there's any, misunderstanding that, I know for me anyway, that there's a statement that's being made that I don't feel that anyway, that the folks involved aren't already doing a great job at creating efficiencies and keeping our costs down as a town. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. Moving on to resolution 1210, ethics board appointments. I think you had down that the term was to expire 12/31/2012. Indeed, it's 2014. So I'm gonna change that. Is that okay with whoever did this? Let's see. Councilman Jarzynski and Esposito?
Fine with me, Carol.
That's right.
PAC Chair, Resolution 1216. You have down a semi-annual salary. I think salary has to be taken out and stipend put in.
Okay, fair enough.
It's not a,
No, I agree.
that was all. So far.
All right, thanks, Carol. Thank you, Todd. Any other thoughts before we go to public comment? All right, I guess we'll open it up for public comment. Our privileges of the floor.
Nancy Lee, 3101 Waynesburg Road. Actually, I'd like to address this to Dan. I had a shed on my property that was it's a plastic shed that I put together with screws, and I didn't know if I needed a building permit for that, and did I?
Any accessory structure is covered. It's an accessory structure in the town zoning,
Oh,
And it's also covered under the building code.
oh,
But it has to meet zoning setbacks and so on, so that's why there's a permit process.
okay. So how do I,
Just when I'm, tomorrow morning or next Tuesday evening, you can stop in the office and we can discuss it and I'll plot it out. Bring up your, parcel on the, on our website and see where it's located.
oh, okay,
Okay?
so,
I just need the size of it and you know, the brochure or whatever, the one that's put together. Even the ones that people buy from classic sheds or they drop them in place, they still need to keep them.
oh, okay. So, let's see, you said tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm here tomorrow morning at 8:30 to
I have a job though.
go. Okay, well, next Tuesday evening, I'm back here, or even after the meeting tonight.
Okay, next Tuesday evening, you're here?
5:30 to 7.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Timothy Ferrioli, 2579 Rutland Springs Road. I have a question. How you want to do this? You said you want me to give the cable company January 5th video. That's on the, right?
That's what they just.
That was last week's video. Do you want that piggybacked on this one? Or do you want everything separate?
I would think separate for the record, but it's, you
I
talking
mean,
about separate CDs, right?
it'll be January 5th, and then when this one goes on the same DVD, it'll say, you know, today's date, totally different. Or do you want two separate ones where, I think for them, it's easier to put on one.
We used to do that before, vote on it at the,
He's asking, you want to put it on one CD or two CDs?
well, if he's gonna show it together.
Well, what I'm saying is up there, instead of them going in and putting one DVD and then turn around and putting another one in, it's all on one.
It'll
and it's
be
just-
on one and it would continue from
Yeah, but
1:05 to,
between last week's and this meeting, there'll be a blank with, you know, obviously today's date.
I wouldn't want to crash Princetown cable, so. So, whatever's easier for you, Tom.
Well, it's really, I guess, the